Hey guys, good morning. I've been getting quite a lot of questions recently around what I'm doing on Tinder. I put up a few videos before of like a Tinder click farm, and there's been a lot of questions about what am I actually doing? How are we promoting? What are we promoting? And how it's all being like set up. So I think because it's a little bit unique, I think most people won't have actually seen a Tinder click farm before. I've run a few various different types of click farms in my day. So I just thought I would share what we're actually doing and answer a few of like the common questions that I've received. So question number one is, what are we actually promoting? What are we using this Tinder traffic for? And like the answer is OnlyFans. So I put out a few videos before on how I think like OnlyFans offers just quite a good business opportunity for anyone looking to get started within entrepreneurship. It allows a recurring revenue. Generally, I only work on businesses that offer a recurring income. And the issue with recurring revenue is usually it will require you to build out like some type of software or really build out some type of product that the user needs on a recurring basis, obviously. Otherwise, they have no requirement to frequently purchase it. However, OnlyFans, it allows you to have a product so quickly. Within a day, you can own essentially something that you can charge a recurring income for. So I think that's really quite unique. And also just most of the girls, just to be very simple, like to put it very quickly, most of the girls don't have any marketing or promotion experience. They can still do very well by themselves, particularly if they have an audience on Instagram and so on. But if you are able to step in as a professional team and take over the management of her OnlyFans and promote her across multiple different channels, such as Reddit, such as TikTok, such as Instagram, building out partnerships with other models, particularly if you manage multiple models and you can do cross promotion on all of their platforms. Like I personally, I really do believe it's such an interesting opportunity. And I know a lot of guys now who are just printing out money, essentially, just by managing a couple of good looking girls. They're living a fantastic life. The Tinder accounts we're promoting OnlyFans models. Currently, I'm not actually promoting I'm promoting one of my own OnlyFans models, but I'm now like really focusing on the marketing and helping these other guys to grow their agency, and I'm charging a monthly fee to these different OnlyFans agencies, mostly based in Dubai. Word has, I think started to spread around in Dubai about like the guy with the Tinder click farm. So every day I'm getting new inquiries. So how does it actually work? We are using real mobile devices. Like you can just see, we use an iPhone 5S anywhere up to an iPhone 7. It basically depends what is available on the market. So fortunately, I'm in quite a strong position, as I used to run another business that required a lot of mobile devices. We purchased about 3,000 mobile phones in a previous business. So we have like very good connections on being able to purchase phones. So that was one reason why I was able to actually start this business so quickly, because of the connections that we have and the sort of partnerships that we have, which I'll go on to as well, why that was so important. Essentially, each phone, if we just go into it, so yeah, nothing that we need to hide. Camera doesn't want to autofocus, but essentially like the whole time it has Tinder notifications coming through. These are WhatsApp, but they're super active. So we'll create an account for the client. We put up pictures of the girl, and then we have to hard modify the GPS location. And that is like the most annoying part, really. You can't use like a VPN or a proxy or anything like that. Tinder is actually working off of your GPS location, your physical location of the device. That is how they determine your location. It's not working off of proxies and so on. So that requires adjustment. And the other most annoying thing about this business, which makes it quite difficult to do, which puts me in quite a unique position, is when an account is blocked, they actually block the phone's device ID, which means any future accounts that you make on this device will instantly be banned. So that is like the biggest hurdle in the business, to be honest. And the way that we have overcome that is because we had these arrangements with these mobile phone salesmen due to my previous business. Now, when an account is when an account is blocked, or there's a device ID block, which is whenever an account is blocked, we're able to swap the phones back in and receive a new set of devices to remake the accounts. And that works really quite well. So yeah, the two biggest issues are like Tinder is just massively invested in restricting, yeah, like trying to stop people from doing things like this. So it's not an easy process, but we've like figured out a pretty good system to get it to work. When we first started this, there was probably a 60% ban rate on the accounts, and these are suicide accounts. I'm expecting them to get banned. However, now we've brought that down to about a 10 or 15% ban rate, which is really good. I'm really quite happy with that. And then if we go into the actual profile, I'm going to have to edit some of this out, as this is going to be a client's account. If we go into the profile, the only thing that we are doing, we have 6 pictures of the girl. Again, I won't show that. And then the only thing we have is in the About Me, we are just pushing, we're saying go through and follow the Instagram page. And the way that works is 2 things. We will include it in the price. The other question, sorry, is always about price. So what is the cost and setup fee for this? How much money am I actually making? There's a $50 setup fee. And what that covers is the cost of us actually purchasing the phone. We also need a SIM card. So this uses 4G or 3G internet. 4G. We don't connect to Wi-Fi, so that also covers the cost of purchasing the SIM card, setting up the phone, modifying the GPS locations, like everything that we've just discussed. That's a $50 fee, one-time setup fee, and then it's $25 per month is what I'm charging. And what that covers is 100 swipes per day, which is the Tinder limit on free accounts. So we will do a little bit less, like just to keep it a little bit more random and not get detected by Tinder. So 100 swipes per day. And also in the event that an account gets blocked, which before was much more common, it was happening very frequently, we will actually remake it for the client for free. So we will swap out the mobile device and we will just remake a new account for them. So it's $50 setup fee and $25 per month is what I'm currently charging. In terms of how many phones we're actually managing, I think that there's about 200 now, maybe 240. We're scaling up quite quickly. I just had another order today for 40 more accounts. Pretty much everyone who's doing this is scaling up, because if they're seeing a return on investment, they're looking to spend more money and have me scale up. So the strategy as well is we are splitting these phones all throughout the US as well. We do Europe, Western Europe, let's say, so London, and then a few other like major cities throughout Western Europe, like where the money is, let's say, and also like Australia in some cases. But predominantly we're targeting the US, and each Tinder account will cover a 100-kilometer radius. So you can have, for example, 10 Tinder accounts covering like California, the major cities in California, not even the major cities. In fact, you can either cover the more rural land, which really works quite well. And we're just aiming to get as much visibility as possible for these accounts. They don't actually have to match with people. Arguably, to actually match with the client can be even worse. And we don't do any form of messaging of talking to the actual clients, because the second you start replying to them, they believe that they are in with a chance of actually getting with this girl. Whereas our sole purpose of these accounts is to push the traffic across to Instagram. They click the link in the bio and they're subscribing to OnlyFans. That is the ideal funnel for us. As soon as we start talking to people on Tinder, yeah, it turns into a conversation, and they're asking for a phone number to go out on a date and so on. And it's not what we want at all. We actually ignore all of the messages, or in some cases, I will go back after a few days, not me personally, but the team, sorry, like we will go back after a few days to the incoming message saying, hey, sorry, I'm not very active on Tinder. Like, can we chat on Instagram? And that will then push them across to Instagram. But you can't be too pushy in terms of promoting your Instagram. Definitely not promoting the OnlyFans. No mention of OnlyFans anywhere. And if you're trying too hard to push people across to your Instagram, people just smell something is up, and it results in the account getting banned. So it's really quite a natural chain of events. Like naturally, they don't receive a reply, or they go and check the Instagram, they click through the link on the bio, and they're subscribing to OnlyFans. So that is that is like the general funnel. I'll share some of the devices and like the setup. At the moment, we're really just focusing on scaling this up. We're working with not individual OnlyFans models, we're working with OnlyFans agencies. So generally these guys are managing anywhere from 3 up to 25 different girls, and we are creating unique Tinder profiles for them, usually between 30 to 40 for each girl, and we're actually continuing to scale up from there. Again, we just put in the link to the Instagram account, so we're driving followers across to the Instagram profile, and then the guys just generally convert themselves into OnlyFans subscribers. The other question I get is how much like return on investment are the OnlyFans agencies getting, and I haven't got like a direct answer to that question. I haven't got access to the like revenue and analytics. Generally, we can assume if someone is scaling up that they are generating a return on investment, right? Otherwise, of course, it wouldn't make sense for them to push more money. And seeing as almost everyone, maybe some of the other guys are a little bit slower, but almost everyone is actually scaling up and adding in more accounts, would suggest that everyone is making a return on investment. And if you really think about it, okay, there's a $50 setup fee in the first month. Aside from that, it's $25 per month. They only need to generate, if they're charging about $10 for an OnlyFans subscription, and then maybe $20 for an upsell for custom, not even a custom video, like a pre-recorded video, and maybe $50 for a custom video. They only need to get about one customer, or in the first month, perhaps they need to get like 3 customers or so on, but that's just due to the setup fee. After that, if they're just getting 2 customers per month from each OnlyFans profile, they're pretty much breaking even or making a profit, depending on how good the upsell funnel is of like the premium content, of what is the conversion rate. And these Tinder profiles are getting thousands, tens of thousands of views each month, which is just unbelievable. Yes, it's like it's a really good funnel, actually. Black Hat, of course, but I personally quite enjoy building out Black Hat funnels. So yeah, that is the Tinder marketing funnel, the new Tinder Swindler, let's say. That's a complete joke, sorry, just to clarify my views there as well. I don't agree with tricking women into giving over their money for you. But if you haven't seen the Tinder Swindler documentary, I did really enjoy it. It was an interesting story, really good documentary, but from a moral point of view, I definitely wouldn't want to be referred to as the Tinder Swindler. Yeah, I really think that covers everything. So again, look, it's like real mobile devices. You have to use 4G. The biggest part of this is making yourself appear as a real person. That is what Tinder is trying to detect. And that is pretty much where all of our effort goes into. So we have a number of different tests going on as well on trying to further reduce the ban rate, as well as like the temporary blocks, which will give you like a 48-hour restriction. If it goes past 48 hours, we'll just make the account again for the client for free. But really, like, I'm actively working on trying to reduce the like shadow ban, like the 48-hour shadow ban. Number one, it's not good for us, because if it goes over 48 hours, we have to remake the account. So I'm paying salaries and so on for that. But also it will make the client see a higher return on investment. If there's a 48-hour period where nobody is seeing that profile, it means the client is losing money. It's in my interest to make sure the client makes as much money as possible, so they come back to me and they're interested to reinvest that money. So it works out for both of us. So of course, my primary interest is actually making sure that each of the client receives a return on investment. So yeah, I hope that explains everything and covers the sort of key points of a Tinder click farm. I know this is a little bit unique. Most people I guess haven't seen anything like this. I've managed a few different things like this before, and the other thing that I'm now exploring now, is we have all of these mobile devices, and behind me there's about 200 more, potentially even more. And there's a lot of different things that you can do to utilize mobile devices. For example, you can make accounts on other platforms. You could also make a sort of Reddit upvote service. This is something that I thought could be really quite interesting to, it does exist already, but they're actually quite expensive. It's about $1 per upvote. And I have the unique devices already. I have the 4G SIM cards to make a load of Reddit accounts and offer Reddit upvotes. I think could be really interesting. On top of that, there was someone who was doing like a YouTube upvote on comments on my videos, actually having a conversation to promote their service. And you could make a load of YouTube accounts on these mobile devices and leave comments on viral videos and upvote the comments so that your comment is getting seen. I thought that could be like a really interesting way to monetize the phones. As well, you can do positive and negative reviews. So perhaps on competitive, these aren't things that I'm actually currently implementing, by the way. These are just some ideas of ways that I thought of that I could also monetize the phone. So negative reviews on competitors, or for example, there was a restaurant that really annoyed me the other week, and just to be able to leave like 200 one-star reviews, I'm not going to do it because I don't really want to destroy someone's business just because of a rude waiter. But I think it's really interesting to have this type of power is really what it is. Maybe people saw the video before of the guy who took his restaurant, which was just a little shed in his garden, to like the #1 restaurant in London. That was all done through reviews, through positive reviews. So to have all of these devices, you could also offer like a service of people can purchase positive reviews for you on Trustpilot, Capterra, G2 Crowd, not G2 Crowd, G2, isn't it? And, or like even just Google reviews, Facebook reviews, everything. Like you can really offer these services. And you could also offer like a Black Hat service where they can order negative reviews against their competitors. You could also go down the route of like click fraud and Black Hat SEO, where you would click on competitors. These phones are all completely unique. So it's going to be so hard for someone to be able to detect this. So click fraud is where you would find your competitors and you would go and click on them through each unique mobile device. And it's going, depending on what niche your competitor is in, it's going to charge them between $1 to $3 per click. And if you have hundreds of phones and you're doing this semi-frequently, you can really get quite Black Hat against your competitors. And the other thing that you could do is negative SEO for your competitors by running a search term, clicking on your competitor's page, and then immediately clicking back and bouncing straight away is going to negatively impact their results in search. And you could also do this for yourself. I actually did this on a previous business of mine where our page wasn't ranking. It was on about page 10, and we would constantly have our team go through and click through onto like page 10, click on our search result, and this it shows to Google that this is what people were actually looking for. And we were constantly doing this across thousands of devices. And now I can't say that it's due to solely to this this little marketing strategy, but it does now rank in position 1. That's like the complete truth. And it can be due to like other factors as well. But this was something that we were actively doing, and it worked quite well. Like that, we got the outcome that we wanted. And then the other thing I was thinking of is you could also potentially do some positive SEO on like your YouTube videos. So I haven't implemented this yet. Like you can tell by my views that they're not manipulated at all. Otherwise they'd be much higher. But you could click on a YouTube video and just watch it the whole way through, which again would send positive signals to the YouTube algorithm. So they're just a couple of ideas I had on how to monetize the phone. So also if people have any other ideas as well, like I'm open to monetizing these phones in other ways as well. Basically on the OnlyFans stuff, there's not really a margin. The margin is in like the setup fee, but currently that is held in the mobile device. I'm looking at when people cancel their subscription, I can sell the phone. So my profit is currently held up in like the physical asset of a mobile device. In terms of the monthly subscription fee, there's really not a margin there once you factor in like the costs. Particularly if I scale this up as well, I'm going to have to look into getting an office and so on. And yeah, the costs are going to increase. So the money is held in in the actual mobile device. So that's why I'm thinking, are there some other ways that I can monetize these mobile devices? So they're like the current ideas I have. I haven't executed on anything currently. It's not really a huge priority for me, but there's some interesting ways to use the devices. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope that was a little bit enlightening into how we're using Tinder, perhaps how you can use Tinder as well. There's definitely no reason that. The other thing that I was thinking of setting up as a service is for guys, you could make hundreds of Tinder profiles for a guy. And if he was a richer guy, it would really work quite well. Spread them across perhaps all over a particular location nearby to his local area, and he would just be matching with girls all the time. So almost offering like a managed dating, which would really work quite well. There's no reason that it wouldn't. And the guy could set up a road trip around all the areas that you've set up these Tinder profiles, got him matches and set up dates for someone. Or this could also work for a girl as well if they were interested. Also for girls, it would work extremely well for actually growing your Instagram following. For guys as well, but I think not so much. Like for girls, it would really work so well. But for guys, it's not quite so common. In Tinder, there's like a real supply and demand where the girls are very highly in demand. The guys are not so much. So it's probably less likely for the girl to go through and follow a guy on Instagram. But yeah, for a girl, you could really grow an Instagram very quickly just by making a ton of Tinder profiles for her. But you could promote, I don't know, really, yeah, some really quite interesting things through Tinder. It's an interesting acquisition channel, one I've never used before, but just from what I've seen so far, it's really working quite well. So maybe you can get a little bit creative with it in your business. Aside from that, thank you so much for watching. Any questions for anything that I didn't cover in this video, just feel free to leave a comment. I'm happy to get back to you and answer any